Hi, grandchildren. It's Grandma B here for another episode of Gramma Reads, edition 2021. Can anybody tell where I am? Do I look a little funny to you? I'm in the International Space Station. You know, this year especially, we've been doing more and more exploration of space, and more people from different places in the country and in the globe have been traveling into outer space, not only with NASA and the International Space Station, but also with places like Blue Origin, SpaceX, Virgin Galactic. Have you heard of any of these? Even Captain Kirk, the Shat, William Shatner, went into space this year. So Grandma Reads 2021 is all about outer space. It's going to be fun. So the first book I have is called Explore Outer Space with Cosmic Chase. A little bit of a rhyme there, isn't it? This is for Nash and William. I'm going to read you a little bit of the story and then leave some of it for you to read on your own. So it's about a boy named Chase, and he's exploring outer space. Now, Nash, I know you've been practicing the planets, so maybe you will recognize all these. And William, if you don't know all the planets yet, maybe you will learn them this year. There's a boy named Chase who loves to stare at the stars and the moon. Chase decided he would travel to outer space someday soon. He made a list and packed the important items that could fit. Then he put on his astronaut suit and took off in his rocket ship. Phew, there goes Chase. He's in outer space. Chase came upon the sun, which was much bigger than he realized. The sun's rays were so powerful it made Chase squint his eyes. The sun is special because it warms the universe and gives us light. Without the sun, the biggest star, it would always be night. Ooh, that'd be kind of spooky. Glad we have the sun, that great big star. Now, Nash, do you know what the first planet is closest to the sun? This is where Chase is going next. Mercury. Next, Chase landed on Mercury, which is the closest planet to the sun. Of all the planets in the solar system, Mercury is the smallest one. Suddenly, an asteroid hit the planet, causing Chase and his rocket to shake. Chase then took off in his rocket ship to get away from Mercury's big quake. Where's it going next, Nash? Do you know the next planet? Venus. That's right. The second planet was like the Earth, as they were the same size. It was Venus, the brightest point from Earth's skies. Chase knew that Venus was hot, but he wanted to see for himself. It was so hot that Chase thought his space shoes would melt. Ouch! Ooh, it's hot, it's hot. Next planet, you know it really well, Earth. Chase came upon Earth, the planet from which he first arrived. He looked at the green land and blue color of the water and sky. The Earth is covered with water, about 70%. Now Chase could see for himself exactly what that meant. So he's looking at our planet Earth from outer space. Cool. And he saw the International Space Station. This is where Grandma is right now. Cool. And after he went there, he begins journeying further. He went to the moon, because that's close to Earth. And then, I'm not going to tell you the next planet. You'll have to find out for yourself as you read the book. So this is Nash and Will, your Explore Outer Space with Cosmic Chase. This next book is for JJ, Lizzie, and Shayasia. and it is called 50 Things to See with a Telescope for Kids and Parents. Now, you know, Grandpa used to have a telescope, and he really likes to look at the night sky. Some of you may not have a telescope at home, but I want you to see if you can find someone with a telescope that you can borrow, or sometimes even your libraries can check out a telescope. So this is going to get you started in looking up at the night sky and identifying stars and planets. Really cool stuff. As most really big books do, this book has a table of contents. So it says getting started, and it lists all the different things that you can do in the book and which page you can find them on. So you don't have to go page by page in order. You can jump around, and depending on the season, the time of year, or depending on what you really want to try to focus on, you can look in the book and know where to go. There's also a note to parents here because you might need some parents to help you with a telescope. So that would be an important thing. This section talks about choosing a telescope, so if you do decide to get your own telescope, it tells you what to look for and how to go about getting a telescope, and all the parts of a telescope. Very, very cool. And then this section talks about dark skies. You know, if we're close to big cities, there's so many lights on at night that it kind of dims the night sky and you can't see as well. But if you can go into more remote places where there aren't a lot of people and lights on, you can get to darker skies and you can see more things in the telescope. Some things you can even see with your naked eye. So hopefully you can find some places to go out and explore the night sky. It also talks about seasonal skies, so different times of years you can get different things. Besides the stars, you can sometimes also see planets. So we were just talking about planets earlier. You can sometimes see those with your telescope. So, JJ, Lizzie, and Shaija, I hope you enjoy this book, and I hope you find a telescope to use so that you can do some of the cool things there. This next book is for Gavin and Amos, and it is called Fun Facts About Space. So it has some really cool things in here that you probably didn't already know. Let's see. It's a pretty big book. It starts out saying, what is outer space? So I'm going to read that part to you. If you're living on Earth, as soon as you travel about 60 miles or about 100 kilometers off the planet's surface, the atmosphere disappears. When there's no air left, the typical blue color that we see in the sky isn't there anymore. Molecules of oxygen are what give the sky its distinctive color. Beyond the blue, there is blackness, and now you've reached the edge of space. And that's where people have been going this year, the edge of space. We've also gone to the moon, and that's called a lunar landing. When we fly an airplane, there's friction due to the atmosphere, but in the vacuum of space, there isn't any drag on a satellite or spacecraft that's traveling. That's why the Apollo's program, Lunar Lander, didn't have to have a streamlined shape. Instead, it's very odd-shaped and looks like a giant spider because it was going to a location with no atmosphere, namely the moon. It didn't have to be designed for the friction of breaking through air. So then the book continues, are there sounds in outer space? This is very interesting, but I'm not going to read it to you right now. You're going to have to read it to find out. And there are many more interesting fun facts that I hope you enjoy reading about. This next book is for Owen and Everett. But Owen and Everett, pay attention. I want you to share this with your families because it's a very big book, with lots of cool things in it. And it is called Make Rockets. For a long time, Grandpa has wanted to launch rockets at Cousins Week. So I'm hoping maybe we can make a rocket this year and shoot it up during Cousins Week. Now, I know it's a very thick book, so do not freak out when you see how many pages are in this. Grandma is not expecting you to read every page. This is what we call a reference book. And a reference book you use to do what particular things you want to do. So there are examples in here of all kinds of rockets you can build, all the rocket science formulas. So maybe Ethan, who really likes math, or maybe Finnegan, might want to look at some of the mathematics involved in this. So this is why I say you may want to share it with your family. But it is Owen's book and it is Everett's book. When you first open it up, what are we going to look for in a big, big book? The table of contents, right? So it's a way to find out everything that's in the book in short little phrases, and you can look all the way through all the different kinds of things that you can do in the book. So if I'm looking through the table of contents, launch pads. Ooh, I need to build a good launch pad if I'm going to shoot up a rocket. Flight operations. Compressed air rockets. Rocket stability. How high did it go? Payloads. So there's all these different parts of making rockets that you can study in further detail. But right now I'm going to show you the part on mini rockets. Because you can make a rocket go really high in the air and it doesn't have to be very big. So this particular chapter on mini rockets shows you how to find, here's a ruler here, this is maybe only 6 inches long. It tells you what kind of pieces you're going to need to get, what kind of materials, how to measure them, how to put it all together, and then you would have a rocket ready to shoot off into outer space. And we can see how high it goes. So Owen and Everett, I hope you enjoy Make Rockets. I hope you share it with your family. And let's see if we can actually build a rocket that we can shoot off for Cousins Week. That would be awesome sauce. All right, Kovan and Finn, here is a super cool book for you. It is called Space, the Universe as You've Never Seen It Before. And it's a Smithsonian book, so it's very special. All of the graphics in here are super cool, and the information. So I think you're going to really like it. Again, it may be a book you'd like to share with the rest of the family because there are a lot of really neat things in here. As we talked before, really, really big books. What do they have? Anyone remember? They have the table of contents. Again, it's a way to organize. So if there's a certain thing you want to look for, you go these first few pages and see what's included in the book. It'll tell you what pages to find it in, all right? So that's a good place to start. The table of contents, it has the solar system, stars, exploring space, the night sky. Ooh, we talked about that with the telescope, didn't we, Lizzie? And a reference section. So you could even use this for some school reports. So here's the beginning, the solar system. Solar meaning sun. So it talks about the sun. You can see all the different detailed photographs here, as well as the information. Here we see our solar system and all the planets. Ask Nash, he knows all the planets. I'm going to skip to a few other cool spots because I thought they were neat. Here is some information on Neptune. How much do you know about Neptune? I thought this graphic was very, very cool. So you can skip there and see about Neptune. And since we're talking about space travel and Grandma's here in the space station, here is an astronaut suit, the current one, and explains all the different parts and how you basically create a safe world inside your suit so you can be in outer space. And then here at the bottom, it shows some different iterations of spacesuits over the decades and how they've changed and evolved. So I don't know that we could actually make our own spacesuit, but I thought it was neat to see all the details there. So I hope that you really enjoy this book, about space from the Smithsonian. All right, so Quavion and Andrew, I have a really cool book for you called Ask the Astronaut. And it's all interesting, real facts about people that have been in outer space. Ever wonder what 21st century space flight is really like? I'm going to read you the back cover. What do you feel on liftoff? What is weightlessness? Where do you sleep in space? You ever thought about that? Can you see the Great Wall of China? Astronaut and spacewalker Tom Jones answers these questions and many others in Ask the Astronaut. So there's all kinds of very interesting questions that people have had about traveling in outer space and being an astronaut, and he talks about all the different things. So I thought this would be cool to read because, again, in a few years, you guys may decide to take a trip into outer space, and this way you'll have all your questions answered. So I hope you enjoy Ask the Astronaut. And this last book is for Ethan. Ethan's a senior in high school this year, and once after you've graduated from high school, Grandma stops buying you books, and I'm trusting that you're buying your own books now, Shy. So this book for Ethan is called The Martian by Andy Weir. Grandpa read this a few years ago and loved the book, and then when it came out in the movie, we watched the movie many times. So Ethan, I think you're going to really like the book. I'm going to read you a little bit from the back jacket. A mission to Mars. A freak accident. One man's struggle to survive. Dun, dun, dun. 6 days ago, astronaut Mark Watney became one of the first people to walk on Mars. Now he's sure he'll be the first person to die there. After a dust storm forces his crew to evacuate the planet while thinking him dead, Mark finds himself stranded on Mars' surface with no way to signal Earth that he's alive. And even if he could get word out, his supplies would be gone years before a rescue could arrive. Chances are, though, Mark won't have time to starve to death. The damaged machinery, unforgiving environment, or plain old human error are much more likely to kill him first. Armed with nothing but his ingenuity, his engineering skills, and gallows of a sense of humor that proves to be his greatest source of strength, Mark embarks on a dogged quest to stay alive. But will his resourcefulness be enough to overcome the impossible odds against him? Well, Ethan, you'll have to read the whole book and find out.
There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He's told us not to blow it, 'cause he knows it's all worthwhile. He told me, let the children use it, let the children use it, let all the children do get.
Your time.
Meanwhile, Sister Michelle is June
27. We're the triplets.
We got
27, 28, 29.
So we're going to sing Happy Birthday in June to all. Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear June.
What could we do all together? We could put them together and that would equal a disco dragon party, and then I came out with the lost disco ball.
That is so
Will, are you hot? Shit just got weird. There we go.
apple pen. Pineapple apple pen. That's time. Pineapple apple pen.
Can they be that close? Just let me state for the record, we're giving love in a family door.